Well, 2012 is winding down, and a lot of people are reflecting on the past year. For one Vacaville teen, it's a miracle she's able to spend the holidays at home with her family. You see, it was 1 year ago. A medical crisis forced firefighters, paramedics, and hospital staff to work more than 93 minutes nonstop to bring her back to life. As Common Ground's Deirdre Fitzpatrick reports, what Nichelle Fisher needs now really can't be found under a Christmas tree. It cannot be bought, but it can be given freely.
The tree is trimmed, the decorations in her Vacaville home are hung, and 19-year-old Nichelle Fisher is celebrating the season with hesitation.
Just think about my disease all the time, and I feel like there's something that I need to do to help, since there's probably a reason why I came back and I'm here still.
Nichelle is living with end-of-stage renal disease. Her kidneys are no longer able to work at a level needed for day-to-day life.
At first, they just put me on steroids, like massive dose of steroids, and then just took pills every day, day and night for like a while, like years. And then I went to a remission from 8th grade till junior year.
The years in remission were the happiest time of her life.
I was really happy. That's all I know. Like, I had a boyfriend and I was in love and I was just like so happy.
But it was short-lived. In her senior year, Nichelle's disease came back with a vengeance, and Fisher joined 110,000 other women, men, and children waiting for a life-saving organ transplant.
It would always tell me, like, later on, like in your mid to late 20s, you would eventually probably be on dialysis. So I wasn't expecting it this soon at all.
On average, 18 people die every day in the U.S. waiting for a transplant. Before a donor kidney could become available, Nichelle suffered a medical crisis that nearly took her life.
I don't really remember anything leading up to that day.
Her mother, Dottie, can't forget.
She went into cardiac arrest. Unbelievably so. She was down for 93 minutes, and they finally did get her back. They refused to give up. And then the doctors, of course, tried to tell me, don't be too optimistic, because less than 1% of the population come back from something like this. So I have a 1%er. I definitely have a 1%er.
A year has passed, and Nichelle is working to get back on the transplant list, but the need for donors is much greater than the people who actually donate.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough deceased donors, so there's a need for living donors.
Deanna Santana works for Sierra Donor Services, and she says there are two ways to donate organs, living and deceased. The majority of kidneys transplanted in the U.S. come from deceased donors. A car accident brought the decision to donate to Deanna's doorstep.
This was my son Scott's square, and this was one of his favorite T-shirts, which had his favorite Bible verse. Scott was a Star Wars fanatic from the time he was a little baby all the way till the time he passed away.
In May of 2011, Deanna lost her 17-year-old son, Scott. Before that fatal accident, he had registered to be an organ donor. Deanna and her husband, Rick, agreed to respect Scott's wishes.
I was able to do what Scott wanted to do. It was my being able to fulfill his last wish here on earth, and that brings our family an immense amount of pride in Scott's decision and in our ability to support it.
His place is marked on this year's Donate Life quilt. It honors those whose last act of generosity was giving a stranger a second chance at life.
It's an opportunity that families can share what their loved one was about.
6 people received Scott's life-saving gift. All are doing well. As for Nichelle, her life depends on dialysis treatments. It's a grueling schedule, 3 days a week, 4 hours each time.
I feel so bad that she's had to go through all of this, but I feel very blessed that she's still here with us.
As 2013 approaches, Nichelle wishes for a healing time.
I would like to be able to go do things that like normal people my age can do.
Dottie hopes more people will sign up for the California Donor Registry, giving the gift of life perhaps to her own daughter.
Just make the decision to, if something happens to me, I can save somebody's life.
I'm Deirdre Fitzpatrick for Common Ground.
Last year, 8,000 deceased donors made 22,000 organ transplants possible. More than 6,500 transplants came from living donors.